another episode of My Car Story. We're at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, slightly muggy day, but when you're with an actual driver like Dennis Firestone, it's a little bit more fun. So Dennis, thank you for being part of My Car Story.
My pleasure, Lou.
I'm going to grab the cameras, I usually do, and we'll get a chance to talk with Dennis. Dennis, my son's 10 years old. Tell us a little bit about your background so he kind of knows what we're talking about.
Raced cars for 17 years, national champion in Formula Ford 1976. National championship in 1979 in a Super V mini Indy series, which led me to IndyCars. I spent 8 years in IndyCars. The highlight of that was probably the Rookie of the Year, 1980.
And with that being said, we're going to look at one of your cars, but before we go to your cars, this one, obviously, you drove it, and it took a little while to get it back. What was the story behind this car? How'd you end up getting this back? As I understand it, the seller was not selling.
No, exactly right. Good guy, Dennis Barney. I had already collected a Formula Ford National Championship car. I found my Super V, the Mini Indy Championship car. So I said, well, I had to make a complete series of it, so I looked for an Indy car. It didn't necessarily have to be this one, but this would have been the one I would have picked because it's probably the prettiest, most exotic Indy car I ever drove in 1982. Found it in Northern California. Dennis was not exactly interested in selling. He's a buyer, not a seller.
Yeah.
But he was kind enough because I was the driver originally in the car. He says, hell, if I'm going to sell it to anybody, it'll be you. So I bought it. 2 years later, we got it running. So here we are.
Let's take a look at our main event. Come on back with me. We'll take a look at it from the side. Come right with me, Dennis. Come right back here. So, how did you feel? Come on back so I can get a shot of the complete side of it. How did you feel when you got it back?
Well, I was just absolutely delighted. Once again, as I said, it's probably my favorite car of all the cars that I've driven. It's probably the prettiest Indy car that I've seen. Even though it's old technology, it still looks like it's going 220 miles an hour even standing still.
Oh yeah, it's got a great design, the pointed nose. It looks like a dart.
Yeah.
I mean, it has...
John Gutierrez, famous hot rod fella, and he was in dragsters for years. He was the fellow that bought the car. He with a couple of partners. They enlisted me to drive it, and I was honored to do that.
How did you originally get into driving? I mean, was that your father got you into that?
No, just a little hobby that got out of control.
And it just kept... Tell me when... is there any markings on the inside, or is there any markings or anything that's on the inside that define your car? Any tags or anything? Sometimes there's...
Well, they had the original from 1982. These are the original tech stickers.
From that time
official
frame.
registration.
You know what? Stay right where you're at. Oh. I want to just get this right here. Go ahead. These are these stickers here as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's from CART, which was a series we were running in at the time. Championship auto racing teams. This is the real deal.
Yeah, this is it.
We kept it as close to perfect, close to original as possible. Virtually is exactly identical car.
Perfect. Let me take a look at the back, because the back, I mean, you've got these beautiful air ventings here. That is tremendous ground effects.
Yeah.
Tremendous ground effects. And you still run this today. You get out on some of the vintage races.
Yeah, it was competitive. I mean, they did very, very well, especially the road courses. This is Dan Gurney's signature here. He signed that a couple of weeks ago before we came out here.
What did you think when he signed it?
Oh man, he loves it.
That was great. It looks like your Zeus buttons are up. Could we actually, if we grab John, can we take a look at the under the hood?
Yeah, we'll show it off and have the guys take it off.
All right, can we pull this up? Can we take the engine cover off? That's pretty. So Dan signed it, and we put the clear over it. Yep, perfect. It looks like most of the buttons are off.
Get out, you have. No,
want to go straight back with it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So Dennis, tell me what, thank you guys. Dennis, tell me what you're running here.
It's a 355 cubic inch Chevy. I don't know how in the world they get that kind of horsepower out of it, but it produces something in the neighborhood of 800, 850 horsepower on ethanol, and it must be the compression because it's not supercharged.
Regularly aspirated.
Exactly right.
No turbo.
No turbo, no supercharger.
And you've done 197 in this.
Right. That's the qualifying speed.
How do you feel doing 197? The smile automatically returns.
Exhilarating.
I wanted to get that. Let me take a look at the other side. Dennis, come on with me. Stand right next to your beautiful car. Stand right next to it. Hey Dennis, thanks so much for being on My Car Story.
Yeah,